Being sidelined right now is the biggest mistake of the cycle. And this is exactly the mistake that you might be doing right now. But the question is, should you really trust this pump, or is this just another trap? Most traders are underexposed and the max pain market moving up like crazy without you. Today, I'll show you what this move really means. Can you trust this pump and how I am positioned myself going forward? Stick around. The final chart might just flip your entire outlook on the current situation in the crypto market. Do me a favor, press the like button, let's get into it. Today I woke up to check out my Mavi loan and I randomly pressed some buttons on Bybit and it actually opened up this page. It almost opened up this page on purpose, so I would essentially share this with you. What you can see here, you can see the market sentiment. You can see that 81% of Bybit traders are long at this stage. 19% are short, and that we are at the levels of greed 72. We have not seen these levels of greed. We have not seen these levels of greed probably since December, January of 2024. And the question you naturally should have, can you actually be trusting this pump? Can you actually believe in what is happening? And the underlying issue regarding the current situation is that if you won't actually trust this pump, what might happen is that you would be entering late. And this is exactly something that I, for example, have done in the last cycle. I can share a story on that. So this is essentially me. Closer to the end of the previous cycle, I was getting into these coins, I was buying them, and I have seen people sharing in the chats, oh, like I got 20x on this one, I got 30x on that one, I made 200k, I made 400k, I made 600k. And I was sitting there and thinking, man, I did not have this type of profits. I just did like 2-3x or something, and I probably have to wait. I probably have to buy more. And at the same time, these guys, they were sell shaming into holding, right? So they were just screaming, let's hold, let's hold, things like that. It was almost like this giant psyop. They were trying to make sure that you would hold these shit coins, like absolute worthless shit coins in terms of like low cap gaming coins, right? Whilst most likely what they were doing themselves, they were actually selling. What happened right after is that I thought that I would essentially just multiply my money right now. I would be able to change my life like drastically, despite the fact I can't say like I was poor, like I'm not a broke. I put into crypto probably around $1 million around the last 4 to 5 years. For some people, it's still a broke, right? For most, I would say it's pretty nice amount, to be honest. And I had these type of thoughts that I should just hold, everything is going to be all right, everything is going to be fine. And we all know what happened next. These guys dumped, the market dumped, and essentially they took profits on all of the people that the latecomers out there. Actually, I supported this frame in my mind that I should just hold and I should just do nothing. And this is exactly something that happened. It was pretty hard for me to open up to my family, to my wife as well. It was a very, very damaging experience, I would say, right? Because I adopted this frame of holding, which resulted that I did not sell at the initials. I did not sell several months later. I was just holding through the whole bottoms of the bear market. And I only sold, I think, at the start of actually October 2023. I just decided to reposition into some stuff that I thought will be doing well at the market at that time. So I was just constantly holding this stuff, effectively seeing my portfolio actually going to zero from the tops of $205,000, $220,000. At the absolute bottom, I do remember this vividly, it was like 17k or something. And it was from $140,000, $150,000 that I put into the market myself. I put this money at the top somewhere around October, start of November of 2021. The reason I'm telling you this insane story is that I do believe that a lot of us, unfortunately, can actually face the same thing this cycle as well. One benefit that we have is that if you're checking out this video currently, is that obviously you are active in the market at this stage. You're actively looking for different plays, probably holding some crypto as well, right? Which I think is a very, very beneficial point, because the regret of most market participants who are present in the market right now would be the fact that they just did not buy something with size and they just did not hold it from the bottoms. This will be the biggest regret. The regret that they will have is that they would be trading, right? They would be buying this thing and that shiny object. And I'm doing this myself as well. Guess what, right? I'm doing this myself as well. And I do understand, like, it's almost like my inner self trying to talk to me like, man, just calm down. Just sell all these shitties. Just buy into one thing. Loan it like with 2-3x leverage. You won. you can't do nothing. You can just sit there and just do nothing and just chill. But the mindset I have, well, maybe this stuff will pump and I will take profits a bit later. Maybe we are getting some type of a dumpage happening on Sunday, and that's why I should probably not be entering, and that's why I should not probably be following the strategy, because I'm still exposed and I have a bunch of coins that I'm in at this stage. I do believe, unfortunately, this is the situation for most of the market, right? Because the hardest thing is always to hold all the stuff. But when you try to hold all this stuff, the narrative that is present on the marketplace, like these coins are dead, they're never coming back, nothing is happening to them. Guys, look at this stuff. I've seen Selfie at $1.6 million market cap. I could have easily bought 1%. I would have $40,000 at this stage. Am I up in terms of all of my portfolio? Am I up $20,000, $25,000 on anything? I cannot say that. Nah, I'm not up. Even like these amounts at this stage, right? And Selfie, from me looking at it at $1.6, $1.3 million in market cap, it's actually up crazily, up 3x, 2 to 3x since these levels, right? Some other thing, we have something like All Will Retire as well, which is this crazy Solana meme coin out there. $5.5 million. I've seen this thing at 1.6, 1.3 million as well. I was contemplating buying 1% of this thing. I did not. It is up $40,000 at this stage. I would be up $40,000. In any way, I would have pretty much won, right? Because this thing would probably be going way higher because it's very strong. And at the same time, even if I would be up $40,000, I would just take them and I could long something with low leverage and just chill. Just win the cycle, right? This is the issue of the psy that is happening in this market, because probably heard like all of these coins, they're not coming back, they are old, meme coins are dead, you should probably not be buying into them. These are the psys that are being created by these people to make sure that they will actually take your money while they are buying into all of these things out there. And the question right now is what you actually should be doing. Should you be buying into these coins currently, or should you wait for some type of reversal and things like that? I do believe things should be assessed from the risk-reward point of view. What is your risk and what is your reward? Let's say this All Will Retire is at $5.5 million in market cap at this stage. Say it goes slower. It goes slower to 3 million, right? What really is the difference on a long enough time frame for you entering here and let's say 3 million? It's not much. If this thing will go to 20, 50, 100, 200 million, it won't be a big difference out there, right? But the risk of the upside that you have at this stage, right, is quite insane. The risk of missing the upside, the opportunity cost, like it's quite insane at this stage. It's way more profitable and plus EV to actually be positioned into the market at this stage. And one thought process I had from my end as well is that what if this is just a low leverage pump? What if people are just longing and nothing is happening? Well, first of all, we do see memes pumping. That's definitely shows that people are buying on spot, because most of the memes you cannot actually be buying on any type of leverage at this stage. Bobo, for example, Bobo is up almost 2x since the bottoms, right? You can say it's at a crucial resistance area at this stage, right? But over a long enough time frame, would it matter that you bought Bobo at 20 million or maybe like at 15 million if it will essentially bounce back down, right? Get rejected and reverse from the higher. Would it make sense on a long enough time frame? Nah. People will call you lucky if you're buying Bobo here at 20, or if you would have a chance to buy Bobo at 15 and you would actually do that, right? People will call you lucky anyway. And that's something that is very, very interesting about crypto fund rates at this stage, right? Because usually in this type of situation, if you would be in the leverage loan bounce, funding would be very, very positive, right? At the same time, if the market would be taught, and if the market would just want to short each and every bounce because the market was taught that this is the way to make money, the funding rates that would be negative. They would be negative at this stage, right? What we see is that the funding rates are actually quite neutral, which means that we definitely have the balance behind these things. Most likely, I do believe that there is a cohort of people who are jumping on leverage currently at this stage. They were not able to long the bottoms. There is a cohort of people who are closing the leverage loans, and they're actually getting ready to short the current setup on the marketplace, the current stage, the current BTC and the Ethereum price action, things like that. But is it really worth it? Even if we're getting like a dump on SARD and things like that, I do believe a lot of coins, they're not going to see the bottoms that they have just seen recently. Like from the risk-reward point of view, it does not make a lot of sense to try to short the current bounce, I would say. I'd say it makes way more sense to try to just find better entries. And in case of leverage, yeah, definitely makes sense if you're entering the asset like at $15 million and at $20 million, right? If this asset is available on leverage, definitely makes sense. Like 25% difference is huge on leverage, mainly because you're protected way better, just because of the fact your liquidation point is way lower, right? From leverage point of view, I won't suggest to be entering currently because we are essentially at the resistance. Spot buys, 100%, very, very nice thing. And I just want you to understand this mental construct, this mental model out there. In terms of that, your risk is way higher of not being exposed into the market at this stage. And not being exposed into good assets, not being exposed into the assets that just have a very good chance of pumping back higher. Several of them I just shared. I think Selfie is probably the weakest one in terms of the potential reversal. I think All Will Retire will do very, very well. And Bob obviously as well. Bob still has support of biggest influencers out there. It will be reversing 100%. It should be pumping like crazy. And the chart I actually wanted to share that I think it sums up the current situation in the marketplace very, very well. This is the only thing you actually need to understand and need to see right now. Everyone is bullish, but was bearish at support. Now we are at resistance again. Unless we reclaim the bottom of the top range, I will be looking for short scalps. I do believe this is the reason of why the funding is neutral at this stage, because shorters definitely see that we are at the resistance at this stage, and they're just shorting the resistance each and every time they do it anyway, right? But again, from my point of view, coming into the bull scenario in the marketplace, you will make way more money just longing the assets since the bottom. And you can free up your capital. You can do whatever you want with this capital. It's crazy that this thing just got 12 views, right, guys? So this is insane piece of alpha that I just got for you that just explains the whole situation. If we reclaim, if we go above 33.5, if we go to 95, and if we would close daily somewhere around that, we just extend higher like crazy, right? If not, we bounce back down. I would, with the projections I have from my end in terms of Sunday and in terms of the current situation in the marketplace, I would bet on the fact that we should be seeing a correction in the upcoming several days, right? Maybe they dump around Sunday, Monday, as they usually do. By the way, guys, this week, they did not dump on Sunday and Monday, right? This is something that happens very, very rarely out there, 100%. This is something that we do not see on the market happening for a lot of time. Right? It's the same thing that each and every month is opening in the red. It would be very, very interesting to see how May would essentially be opening out there. So I would expect a correction, but the thing with that correction is that I don't think that the assets on this market, they would essentially be lower than they are currently. I do believe we are past the bottom, and this is something I told you yesterday. And right now, I actually want us to go through the comments under the previous two videos. I want to talk about alts that I mentioned there. I want to focus the attention on the fact that each and every altcoin that was mentioned by me in the last two videos is up at least 20 or 30% at this stage, each and every one of them. And let's see what was the reaction from some of you. And we can assess based on this reaction whether these people are making money at this stage, whether these people actually were able to position, or are they sidelined, sitting in fear. I will be betting on the later. This is the video about crash altcoins I just recorded 2 days ago. If you would check out different alts I'm actually checking in this video, all of them are up at least 20 to 30%. I mentioned Peanut here, which is up 20%, 25% on a daily at these levels. I mentioned Boba. You can see Boba is $15.8 million in market cap. Right now it's $22 million in market cap. I also give you a hidden gem, Mavia, that Crash just mentioned. He just mentioned it in his leverage trading chart yesterday, publicly. I told you about this before, right? Mavia pumped also 15-20% from that since these levels, right? You might say it's nothing, but if you're leveraged, these are pretty good money. Are you being sponsored in coin tokens money or future promise thereof in any of these projects you have mentioned? The simple response I just gave today is that nah, I'm too small, plus shadow banned by people who approve QLs for sponsorships. I just leave it right here. I won't expand on this one. Trying to hit up Mavia guy for 2 months plus for some sponsorship, but no luck, despite the fact I gave them so much exposure. It's pretty insane. This guy giving Crash a platform to pump and dump while more. Each and every coin is up 20% plus from the video. And I'm also talking about the coins that are in hundreds of millions, in billions of dollars of market cap. You really think that like 1,000 views on this channel can pump them? It's pretty insane. talking about bread as well. Bread pumped like crazy, guys. I was given bread here at like 350 or something. It's 450, it's 480 at this stage. It's absolutely insane. And the question you might ask, like people who are negative here, are they positioned in the market? Did they catch this pump? Did they long the bottom? I think it's quite obvious. No, they did not. Just look at this. It is right at the start of the video. You did not have to do anything. You just had to listen. You just had to act based on the information that you were receiving. Most people are about to miss the best entries of this cycle again. What happened right after? What happened since yesterday? A bunch of coins actually pumped like crazy. A bunch of coins are not available for the same long leverage entries that they were available. And there is a pretty huge fucking chance they won't get available for this again. It's pretty insane. My favorite Schiller, it was quite funny. I actually laughed out loud about that. You lost a lot of credibility. I'm glad I bailed on Indian Blast a long time ago before I took a major L, or else I'd be down 99%. Didn't bother to finish the 1 hour explanation you had. It was not an explanation. It was the chronic of crazy amount of insights. For people that wanted to listen, to understand how this space really works. It is invaluable piece of video. Invaluable. No one is telling you that about any type of meme coin that is present on this market. No one is telling that about all the underlying scene that is happening behind the curtains. It's just insane. You had a few days ago. And look at ye. It's drawing, not knowing where support is. Gonna downgrade you to a tube, but I use ChatGPT to summarize now. Up to you. And there is actually a way to summarize YouTube videos. You just need to use a tool to transcribe it. They are free. And then you just put the script into the YouTube video and ChatGPT actually summarizes the video for you. Let's just figure out like how often you would be doing that and how can you would actually be following certain recommendations, certain things that are in these videos if you are just getting information from ChatGPT. There is something about human connection. There is something about emotion. There is something about the way things are being transferred out there. Ye on Solana. So initially I shared it at $1 million in market cap, right? Somewhere here. And right after $1 million in market cap, it actually went to 600K. And the time the video was published, it was at 600K. Since 100K, the top for this thing was actually at 3.6. Which means it's a 6x, right? And I'm not your daddy to teach you when to pull out, right? I do believe you're all like serious men out there. A lot of you quite older than me, right? Probably know when to pull out. Way better than me, right? At the same time, I'm pretty bad at pulling out, you know? I don't have any kids at this stage, but I left at least $1.5 to $2 million in profits on Indian Blast. If I would play these correctly, all these waves, and if I would be pulling out each and every local top on Indian Blast, I would be having way more money currently. I'm bad at pulling out. I'm just sharing these things with you. And this is something I just shared on my X. It definitely pays to also actually having notifications on my X as well. Ye Verso. I just shared it an hour ago, right? This is something to be seen because this is a crazy piece of chart. To be honest, like I found myself losing money on Ye as well. It's pretty insane, right? So I do believe that this thing should be expanded from here because this is just a crazy piece of chart. And me sharing the narrative with you, I think in some videos I also was talking about Ye on Ethereum. I'm also in this one as well, right? I took my initials out of it today, which maybe was like not the best thing to essentially do. But at the same time, guys, it pumped like crazy yesterday, mainly because of the fact that Matt Fury, creator of Pepe, creator of all the characters in the Pepeverse, he liked the post from Ye on Ethereum. This is the alpha I'm sharing here. It's up to you. This chart is not as great for the entry, right? But this narrative is definitely more Ethereum-like. Definitely more from Pepeverse out there. So this is it. It's probably quite long at this stage already. Thank you very much for watching this one. Again, if you received any piece of value from this video, make sure to press the like button and let me know in the comments what you think about the thing I actually shared today. Maybe you think I'm wrong. Maybe you think I don't have the right to say the things I'm saying, right? Let me know in the comments. I'm paying the company, the moderator company, on a monthly basis at this stage to remove all these scam comments under these YouTube videos. So we can actually talk in the comments as well. Thank you very much for watching. Stay healthy and rich. I shall be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.